Hey, you already know what it is, man. We make art, we sell art in your face with another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about the worst anime convention. This got to be the worst anime convention that I've ever done. And I do a lot of shows, man. I've been doing this for like 4 years now. I've done everything from the East Coast, West Coast, South, and I'm not gonna put any names or anything out there, but I just want to tell you guys, what I've been through, what I'm going through as an artist, and my experiences, right? And I'll tell you some good ones in another video. But this one is by far the worst that I've ever done. And this show was just horrendous. Now, I've done a lot of shows. And usually before I do a show, I get nervous. Like every show, I get a little nervous. It's like, oh man, I want to see how this is going to go. I'm not sure how it's going to be. There's a lot of things that entail when you're doing a convention. There's a lot. Now, if you don't know, like how you see me drawing right now, I do a lot of anime conventions and I sell a lot of my merch, like t-shirts that I'm wearing and stuff like that. I sell a lot of merch and things like that. So, I do a lot of anime conventions, selling my artwork at various shows. So when you're selling your artwork at various shows, you have a lot of things that you have to worry about. True say you can make a lot of money doing these anime conventions because I am living proof of that. You definitely can. But there's a lot of stipulations and things that you have to worry about. So this is my third show in a row. Let me give you guys a little bit of context here before we get into this. All right. So I started out in Atlanta. All right, that's the home base, but we had a show out there called Collecticon. It was the very first show that I did. Hey, I don't even want to say no name. Okay, well, that show was great. That was a great show. So I started out in Atlanta. After I did that show, I drove all the way, let's say, 27 hours to another show. I went and did that show. That show was kind of bad too, but I'm not gonna, I'm trying not to. I'm trying to refrain from putting out the names of the shows. So boom, all right, cool, whatever. That show was kind of bad, and I'll tell you why that was bad some other time. So then after I did that show, which is these shows are 3 days. So just imagine you start in Atlanta, you do a 3 day show, you drive 27 hours to another venue, right? And then you're out there, you do another 3 day show, and then you drive another 23 hours to another show. So when I get here, this is how this show was just absolutely terrible. Okay. When you do a show, you're worried about a few things. One is the weather. How is the weather going to be? The weather is going to dictate how many people actually come to the event. Okay. Two, the voice actors or celebrities or people that are like the big draw to get people to come to the show in the first place. That's the second thing you're going to want to worry about. Three, your placement at the show. Where you are in the venue, depending on how big the venue is, depending how it's set up, is going to dictate how many people see you and ultimately how many sales you can get because of your visibility at the show. So now that you guys know those are the things that I worry about as a vendor, you have to have all those things lined up dang near perfectly in order for you to have a banging show. It just is what it is. There's a lot of factors and things that are out of your control when you're doing a show. All right, cool. It is what it is. So, first thing, I get to the place, right? And mind you, it is hot. I mean, it's really, really hot out here. I'm not going to say where I was, but it is very, very, very hot out here. So, with that being said, I'm like, all right, cool. It's hot. I pull up to the place and I get there a little early. And, we're supposed to be doing the load in. So, when you're doing your load in, that means you have to drive to the convention center. You have to find out where the loading deck is and stuff like that. So I get there. There's probably already about like 20 something cars already there. I'm like, dang, I thought I got here early, but this car is already here. Cool. Now, most convention centers, the loading decks are huge, right? You usually have a really, really big load in deck. That means tons of vehicles, semi trucks, trailers, all type of stuff are loading all their stuff in, getting ready for the show. So you usually load in, tell the people what your booth number is. They give you a little sheet of paper you put on your dashboard so they can see how long you're going to be there and stuff, and call you just in case you're there too long. You're supposed to go in, load out, and then move your vehicle. So I'm sitting there in the line waiting to load in the vehicle, and 40 minutes pass, 50 minutes pass, an hour pass. And they're literally letting in like 3, 4 vehicles at a time. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? The loading area is super duper small, and they're only letting in a certain amount. So now it's pushing my time back even more because it takes me a little while to unload everything, set everything up. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like how long are we going to be here? So all right, that was the first annoyance. I finally get in, park my vehicle, right? I walk in, and when you first walk in, you let them know who you are, you get your badge numbers, things like that, and they tell you where your spot is. So I'm like, okay, my spot was, I see where my spot is, and they give me my badges. I get to my spot. My spot is a 10 by 10 right by the voice actors. Now, some people would be like, man, that's a really, really great spot. And it usually would be a great spot, but there's a big problem. My booths are usually a 10 by 20. I have a lot of merch. I mean, a ton of merch. So usually I would need like, 2 tables side by side. And then I set up my own table. So there's usually like 2 tables already there, 2 chairs, and then you bring whatever else you need so you can set up. My booth was half of what I usually would have my booth. So we already got a problem because I spent $1,400, and I'm like, hey, I thought I ordered a 10 by 20. So I asked the people and stuff. They tell me, they're like, hey, man, we got you down for a premier spot next to the voice actors. You spent $1,400, but it's a 10 by 10. I'm like, that can't be right. So we looking at the paperwork and everything. I get in contact with the owner of the event and stuff, and they're like, yeah, man, there must have been a mix-up or something like that. And I was wondering because they had sent me an email. They sent me an email asking for my logo. They was about to promote me. So I'm just thinking like they really like what I do or something like that. And my reputation precedes me. But no, I paid for a premier 10 by 10 spot. So this is horrible. Okay. One, my spot is so small. Like all my bins couldn't fit in that spot. All right. So I'm like, you know what? Look, what can we do to fix this problem? Because there's no way I can have this spot. They were like, well, look, this is what we can do. We know you spent $1,400 to have this spot. But what we can do is, if you want the spot next to you, we can charge you an additional $1,000 to have this spot. An additional $1,000. I said, bro, I just spent $1,400. So you're going to charge me another $1,000 on top of that. I said, yo, do you just have another spot that's available for a 10? That's with the 10 by 20? They said, yeah. I said, all right, cool. Now, there's another part. I had pulled in my stuff to that 10 by 10 spot, right? And I was waiting for the person. Oh, they're going to be here. They're going to be here. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. It took them forever to come, right? This place, I don't want to cuss. I lied to you not, man. There are I've never seen horseshoe flies before. I'm used to house flies and things like that. I've seen that growing up. They have horseshoe flies everywhere. And when I tell you everywhere, I mean everywhere. All right? They're everywhere. So I'm coming in, I'm pulling everything in and stuff, man. These horseshoe flies are in every corner, every inside the convention center, outside the convention center. So you got the heat burning you alive. You got to pull all your stuff into the convention center. You got the horseshoe fly, dude. They're like the side. They're like this big. It got to. I literally counted this weekend alone at this convention. I killed 17 of these things. And they kept coming back. I got other people. Yo, I killed 26. Yo, I just killed 4. And they're so big that they're slow, so it's easy to try to kill them. My hat, bro, I'm talking about, it was times where I hit and it killed 2 of them at once. That's how many horseshoe flies there were. It was just, it was the most irritating thing, the most disgusting thing, because for one, when you go to the concession stand, you're trying to order food, man, there's flies everywhere, man. Then when you go back to your area, you're trying to sit down and eat, these flies buzzing in your ear. They landing on your products. They're everywhere. Every time you kill one or two come back. It's like you can't get rid of them. Just absolutely horrific, man. So not only you got to deal with the flies, not only did I have to move my area and I almost got charged another $1,000 on top of that, then the whole time when I got there, I've been doing this for a long time. I just had a bad feeling. Just a bad feeling. Like I'm like, man, something is just up with this event, man. I got a bad feeling. You know what I'm saying? We had some pretty big voice actors that were gonna be there, so everybody was hyped for it. Everybody telling me like, yo, man, I'm telling you, this show was super dope. This mug, Friday is a little slow, which Friday was pretty slow. Thank God I had one guy. He came. He dropped the bag on me. He was buying a lot of stuff, which is cool. But other than that, it was abysmal. Sales, first day, sales were garbage. Okay. I'm talking about garbage. Everybody like, nah, man, look, we telling you, Saturday gonna pick up. Now, mind you, the whole week that I've been there, I got there Monday. So the event started on Friday. Every single day was scorching hot, barely any clouds. So why on Friday is raining, thunderstorm? Raining thunderstorm, which once again that affects the crowd, right? I'm all the way towards the back of the show. Once again, your position affects how you do your sales, right? We got two major voice actors. Other voice actors, they okay, and then the crowd, yo, they're not spending money at all, man. It's like they're buying, but barely. So today, which is Saturday, everybody like, look, this is the day, y'all. Everybody's excited. Everybody like, look, man, we don't know, what's going on, but Saturday it usually be wall to wall in here. Not only was it not wall to wall, when I tell you people here are just not spending that bread like that, man, it's been abysmal. It has been abysmal. Sales have been horrendous. This has got to be like the besides, I think it was another show I did in the East Coast up top. This has got to be one of the worst shows I've ever done in my convention career. Horrible. Still dealing with flies today. Still dealing with the flies. It's just there's no. It doesn't matter how many you kill. We're still dealing with the flies. All right. The only thing that came good out of doing, even being out here, is when I got my hotel. I told the person, I was gonna be here for like 9 days. Ain't like, dang, 9 days. They hooked me up with a really dope suite. I got like the jacuzzi, all that stuff. Really, really nice room. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, yo, this show, just being here, has just been horrendous. A terrible, terrible experience, man. Like, so today I just want to, just let you guys know when you're doing these conventions, if you ever want to get into the art game, if you ever want to do these conventions and stuff, just understand it's not always peaches and cream. You're going to have some good shows, you're going to have some bad shows. But this show is by far the worst show out of a lot of shows that I've done. I've done shows all over, the US. So it's just my way of just venting today, man. Today was just it just I'm still got a bad taste in my mouth. It's so bad. Like we got one more day. I don't even want to go the next day. Or to make like a little $400 or something. Like I don't even want to. Yo, I don't even want to go tomorrow, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how bad it is. So, without being said, you should already understood and understand this. I will never do this show again. I will never come back to this show. This experience, from the booth to the flies to the attendees, everything, it just as a vendor, when I tell you it's so many vendors are just looking around like, yo, what is going on? Like they can't believe it. Everybody's like, yo, it wasn't like this the past few years. I'm like, bro, I don't know what it was like the past few years, but I guarantee you this. I won't be here to find out what the future holds. I won't be here to find out what the future holds. Cause I'm not coming back to this mug. I'm not coming back to the city. Like it's a wrap. You know what I mean? You only got one time to really burn me. And this, I'm telling you, the the infestation of flies and that, like, I got literally PT. Like every time I think I see some, it's dude. I'm telling, they're huge, bro. They're huge. They're huge. Like everybody, like, yeah, man, this is Texas. See, I didn't mean to say this is unacceptable, man. Unacceptable. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I understand. It just, some places just may not be for me. I tried. I gave it I gave it a good shot. But so, and that's another thing, like out here in the area where I'm at, I was like, it's cool because a lot of things are cheaper out here, right? There's a lot of things cheaper out here. And I was excited about that at first. I'm like, man, this is cool. It's stuff cheaper out here. But lo and behold, I didn't realize how bad that would be for me because everything's cheap. So people used to being or used to spending, things cheap. You know what I mean? So that's going to affect my sales too as a salesman. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, nah, this is not where I want to be. I don't want to be somewhere where everybody being cheap. You know what I'm saying? Where everything is cheap because that's going to affect your bottom dollar. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. There's no shade to anybody, but that's just how it is. So I tried. I gave it my best shot. But I'm gonna have to put this one. This is this one. It's this one and like two other shows that I will never do again. You know what I mean? So just want to let you guys know, man, we all go through it. We all have these times where, these things can happen to us. Being an entrepreneur and doing these shows, it's a lot of ups, there's a few downs. These past couple shows that I've done have definitely been down. And that's one of the reasons why, I'm really heavily focusing on getting into more of the digital things that I'm doing, as far as when it comes to the books, as far as when it comes to the sales online and all that, because there's a lot of variables that you have to deal with when you're doing shows. You're going to get a lot of, oh man, that's cool. Oh, that's a great price. Oh man, okay. And well, it depends on where you at too. Certain places I go to, man, they will literally be like, yo, shut up and take my money. You know what I mean? Like, shut up and take my money. They're buying this, they're buying that. They want to get this for family members. They want to get that. They want to get that. They're trying to collect them all. Other places, yo, man, $40 is like breaking their breaking the bank. You understand what I'm saying? People like start sweating when you just say $40, sweating when you say 50 or 60. So it just really depends on where you are at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So just want to tell y'all that. You already know what it is, man. We sell out in your face. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for listening to me complain a little bit, man. This is a little bit of therapy for me. But yeah, if y'all see this picture, man, I'm working on Nightmare Before Christmas. This is coming out, trying to get this thing done before Halloween and Christmas. Don't know if I'll get it done in time, but I'm definitely working towards it. So you already know what it is, man. I appreciate all of y'all. Y'all have a great one, and I'll catch y'all in the next video, man. Peace in your face.